I've been staying in Copenhagen for about a week, and I wanted to do a day trip to, I can't pronounce this properly, Malmö, Sweden. The O has 2 dots on top, so Malmö, I don't know. But I absolutely loved this day trip. It was a 30-minute train ride. So easy. The transportation, I'm just always blown away by how easy everything is. But especially in Denmark, everything was too simple. So I just bought a ticket. It was only like $15 one way. And I wanted to do a day trip in Sweden because why the hell not? And it was a beautiful bridge across the water. So I got a lot of really good pictures. Make sure you check out Paige is Abroad. It's in the show notes, but that is my Instagram. So you can actually have a visual of my trip. But I really loved this day trip because there's something about, I only have a few hours, like 5 or 7 hours to really check out the most I can of the city. And I do a little research when I do day trips, but not that much. Like I look at some restaurants or bakeries, parks, any kind of monuments or things to check out. I'm not much of a museum person, but you know, what are the areas or the neighborhoods I can check out, look at some art, and just walk around and feel safe. So I did a little bit of research of like, okay, like I can eat at this restaurant or maybe this one, and I definitely want to go to this and this bakery and maybe even look at some thrifting because I heard that they had a really good secondhand stores around. So I just had that very brief. But what was so cool just about this is just being so spontaneous. And it was like, oh my God, I'm in Sweden. Like this also was not on the agenda at all. Like a part of my original plan. I just kind of love when I just randomly go to countries that I had no idea I was going to be here. So it just felt really cool to be in Sweden. Everyone was so polite. It was so clean. Oh my God, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful city. There really were not that many tourists around. Now, it was a Tuesday, so I'm sure people are working, and it was freaking cold, man. It was like 20 degrees or so Fahrenheit. I think in Celsius, that's like -3 or something. It's cold. I can see my breath when I'm walking. So I'm all bundled up, but I'm walking around and I'm just having so much fun. I'm taking pictures. It just feels like I'm in a movie. Like, I just love day trips so much. I'm just exploring. And then I know I need to eventually get back. But it just feels really good to be spontaneous like that. So I went to this restaurant. I was really hungry, so I arrived around lunchtime. And this place served open-faced sandwiches. And they only had 3 options. There was a vegan, a vegetarian, and a meat one. And so I got this sandwich that it was like braised pork on this like, I don't know if it was sourdough, some kind of open-faced bread. And it had this like salad on top that was like, with sauerkraut and cabbage. And it was kind of like pickly vinegar, but also sweet and tangy. And then I had a side of fries, like truffle fries. Oh my God, it was so good. And that's something I just wouldn't really order because I'm not a big sauerkraut or like pickles fan. But I saw like a picture of it and I was like, I'm going to try this out. So this sandwich was so juicy. Like the meat was cooked really well. And because of all of like the sauce and the flavors, like the bread was very moist. So I just was dancing, like shaking my shoulders when I'm chewing and just like enjoying myself, closing my eyes. I had a nice local Pilsner as well. Like it was so good. I get so proud of myself when I like push out of my comfort zone a little bit, because my go-to meals, like my comfort foods are really like burgers, or if I can find a taco. Haven't really found a taco in Europe, to be honest, but burgers or chicken something is really the go-to of comfort. So I'm really proud of myself that like I tried a new dish and it was delicious. So that made me really happy. So I was nice and full. I walked around, went into a couple of thrifting, secondhand stores. That was really nice. I definitely can't buy anything. I am super maxed out on purchasing any clothes. Like my backpack is to the brim, and especially because it's winter, I did have to buy some long sleeve and sweaters or jumpers, however you want to say it. And my backpack is like, we're not doing this. So as much as I love shopping just because it's fun, can't do it. So it was nice to window shop and it was nice to look around. And then I went to this bakery. I got this thing to go, so I'm going to have it for breakfast tomorrow. But it's like this sugary croissant with like lemon custard. That looked really good, so I'm excited to eat that for breakfast. And then I went to another bakery, and I was kind of bummed because online they had advertised all these different cream-filled donuts, but they didn't have any donuts in the window. And when I asked about it, they're like, oh, that's only on Friday. So I was like, womp womp, that's all right. So instead there was this really nice big, it was like a golf ball sized chocolate ball covered in coconut shavings. And it was like oat and really, really like thick. It was really good. It was a very hearty coconut chocolate ball. So that was good. And then I kept walking around and I came across this beautiful park. And although it's cold and it's winter and it's still kind of fall, like it's definitely winter, but like there's still some leaves a little bit and you're seeing some of the colors. This park was absolutely beautiful. Make sure to look in the show notes again. Like I'll list all of the places that I've been. But I just loved this park. It was so peaceful. No one was there. It was right at sunset. There was also this giant windmill thing. So I think I was near actually the castle. But I loved the walk. I really love when cities have grand parks. It makes me feel so open and that I'm not like claustrophobic or anything like that. Like this park was absolutely gorgeous with the water and like the ducks, and I loved it. It was a great walk. But yeah, I just got lost in this city. I pretty much was there for like 6 hours or so, and then it was time to go home because I was tired and it was getting really dark, and I wanted to make sure I could catch my train back to Copenhagen. So the lesson of this episode from this day trip is remembering the beauty of being spontaneous. Now, my mom actually, because she came here to Copenhagen back in the 80s, and she even she texted me and was like, Paige, while you're in Copenhagen, make sure to check out Malmö, however you say it, because it's so close, which it is, and it's such a beautiful city. You have to check it out while you're here. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I have work meetings. It's kind of cold. Like I kind of was hesitant about going to another country, but I literally woke up this morning. I even woke up a little late. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's 30 minutes. If I was in Colorado right now, I have lived in Denver for like 15 years. This is like literally going to Boulder. It's equivalent distance. It's not that far. You can have a day trip in Boulder and still make it back in Denver in time. And because it's the train, you don't have to worry about traffic. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to fucking go to Sweden today. And I even brought my passport just in case, because I didn't know if they were going to check or anything, but they didn't. It didn't matter. So yeah, and I got some chocolate, and I sent my mom a postcard, and I also got a little, so every single country that I go to, I get a badge, this kind of like this patch, if you will, and I have like this shadow box at home. So I just got my little souvenirs, and yeah, it was a great day. So remember, being spontaneous can be a good thing. It doesn't have to be anxiety driven. You don't have to plan every single minute of everything. It's a beautiful way to be present when you're being spontaneous. because you have to focus on the now and nothing else really matters. So I'm just really grateful for today, exploring a new city and trying new foods, seeing new places. And even though I was cold, I made the decision to not be miserable, because let's be honest, I am not a cold baby. I am a warm, beach loving gal, and being in this cold is really taking a toll. However, I'm still choosing to have a good time. So what are the ways that you can be more spontaneous in your day and continue to choose happiness? Because overall, you do have the power. Don't let your mind convince you otherwise, that you have to be miserable. You can wake up every day and choose fulfillment, choose to be motivated, choose to live a life that is aligned with your values. Until next time, thank you for listening.